Good morning. This is Reverend Pamela in Pinckney Butts. I'm currently being abused by my landlord, and the authorities are aware of it. However, there are people in the law enforcement agencies and in the leadership positions who are compromising my safety. And as you see, the media doesn't talk about it. I'm the only one basically having these matters discussed publicly, seeking out assistance. What you see behind me is a door that was intentionally left open to catch me off guard by a man named Stephen Holland Jr., who my landlord, Jimmy Pope, and the rest of his affiliates deny even exist or live in this building. And what he does is he either turns out lights and leaves doors open, or he leaves lights on and locks doors to deny me access to come and go, because he's been trying to force sex on me ever since I've lived here, as well as violating people who come to visit me. The landlord, Jimmy Pope, tells people that Stephen Holland Jr. does not even live here. And as you see, it's dark when you walk through that doorway. If you go in there, there are places where he can hide. They've been tampering with my utilities. My landlord has begun the retaliatory eviction process, and Judge Raymond L. Pianca is allowing him to do it because I've gone to the authorities about the lack of upkeep in this building while he buys more property with my money that he's been getting for over 10 years. After I moved into here from a homeless shelter as a result of reporting abuse in efforts to protect myself. Let me go there first, since that's the rule on the airplane, is look out for yourself first and then others that are with you. To protect myself, my children, and other family members as a result of violence is taking place against us. The door has been actually jimmied. And these are the mailboxes that have been being broken into and violated. As you see, my mail is sticking up through the box because I don't have access to my mail. They tear the mailboxes open 1 minute. As you see, it's how it's protruding from where someone actually tried to get in there. And they actually tear the mailboxes open. But right now, Stephen Holland Jr.'s mailbox is open to make it look as if something else is taking place. He gets high and tears the mailboxes open. And Mr. Pope is fully aware of the situation because I have presented in multiple situations pictures of my mailbox torn open with my mail thrown all over the floor. For those of you who think I'm making something up and this is some type of joke, as you see, it does exist. Yesterday, I got a phone call from Judge Villanueva's staff attorney telling me that my case was dismissed in his court. And this is the same judge who denied me a civil protection order in the midst of other crimes taking place against me several years ago. Now, keep in mind, she wouldn't return my phone calls pertaining to the case after they blocked me on the internet from getting access to my files and my cases. On Sunday evening, I went. Let me let you know, today is Wednesday, May the 18th, 2016. And on Monday, May the 16th, 2016, I went to the internet. Well, correction, Sunday, May the 15th, I went to the internet to try to get access to my information for the files and the cases that I have filed in the courts. And when I ran my name, I couldn't find any of the cases. Now I'm going to take you to Monday. Monday, the 16th, when I called to try to get the information, first I was redirected to someplace I should not have been directed to, where I'm being financially charged for cases that have never been heard on my behalf, or even heard at all, let alone on my behalf, where I've been being denied justice. And then I was also directed to the clerk of courts and told some information on the phone that I've now received in writing pertaining to Judge Villanueva. Keep in mind, Judge Donald C. Nugent blocked me from filing in the district court, accusing me of being vexatious in my filing and a vexatious litigator, a frivolous filer, doing things in bad faith and harassing people. How do you harass somebody by filing a lawsuit? If that's the case, then the whole judicial system is a form of harassment. And I sure would hate to believe that is so, since justice is supposed to prevail in the land for victims of abuse. This year I have done multiple police reports again that are not being followed up on my behalf. Instead, the Cleveland police, some of the Cleveland police harass me and call themselves bullying me and making a mockery of me. When Mayor Frank D. Jackson does things to try to assist me, he goes under attack for doing so. And then I can't reach him. Because of his position of leadership. I have been being not only monitored on law enforcement electronic devices and my flyers, picture put on flyers, but I've also had my mail violated. I'm going to say that again because the U.S. Postal Service is fully aware and they're doing nothing to correct it. But I've also been being denied physical care at hospitals. I'm currently a presidential candidate for the United States of America for 2016. And as you see, the FCC and others did not talk about my campaign due to my being discriminated against. And in 2004, my ballot was not counted in the election, supposed election of Mr. George Bush. In 2008, my ballot was not counted in the election, the supposed election of Barack Obama, where I did not vote for either one of them in either one of those elections. Instead, when I went to inquire about my ballot, Jane Platten, who was the director of the Board of Elections in Cuyahoga County, Ohio, sicked police on me and had me locked up for inquiring about my ballot. Only to find out later on when I went and Betty Edwards pulled up on the computer where they had some information about me being registered or somewhere in Beechwood, Ohio. I have no clue how that took place. Well, recently, the director for the Board of Elections of Cuyahoga County had his staff generate a letter to me telling me that they're not going to do anything to correct that. I currently have a lawsuit pending against the Board of Elections for the federal level, the Federal Elections Commission, as well as the Federal Communications Commission, which these judges are trying to make go away, who have been conspiring to murder me. Some of this conspiracy is coming from Indianapolis, Indiana, Marion County. The now retired Judge James Payne, who called himself ordering a hit on me from his bench when I was on camera, not only advocating for justice for myself, but advocating for others as well. And it was during this time also Or matter of fact, after he ordered the hit on me, that Barack Obama appeared out of who knows where. I had never even heard of him before. Anyway, then I was made to disappear. Then in 2008, when I also ran, along with other candidates, I got beat up and thrown in Cuyahoga County Jail. And I believe Bob Reed was the sheriff at the time. And Michael McGrath was the chief of police for the city of Cleveland. Gerald McFall was the Cuyahoga County sheriff. And not one sheriff to this day has made an arrest on my behalf. Not one. Instead, I am receiving further abuse, more neglect, and even further endangerment. Those of you who can assist me and who will assist me. Oh, and also in 2008, when they beat me up and tortured me and threw me in the county jail and gave me a suicide and told me to kill myself, they were bothering my mail then, sending it to the wrong place intentionally to try to catch me off guard, to justify doing what they did to me and creating a false case against me, and then putting something about me in the computer from 1/1/1900. And the judges denied my motions back then, including the housing court judge, Raymond L. Pianca, denied my concerns that I've been bringing to his attention. And as a matter of fact, he's been very disrespectful towards me when I've gone to go see him, as if I'm some type of joke. In 2012, when I ran for president of the United States, I got locked up in Cleveland Clinic and held there during the debates to make sure that I could not do anything pertaining to my campaign. This year, Cleveland Clinic calls themselves playing games with me, and I'm suing them as well as these other hospitals in their hands for violating me, as well as discriminating against me. And the judges call themselves making these things go away whose hands are dirty. And then the one judge, there's two judges that I know of for sure who really have been trying to do things to help me, but they cannot do it without their families being put under attack. As you see, I am a woman of color, and as you see, the media shows, they did show one person of color running for office, Dr. Ben Carson. I met him at the Cleveland City Club. Anyway, I won't have that discussion. But the rest of the people who they're showboating are blonde people with white skin or pale pigmentation, I put it like that. You do not see my campaign. Neither do you see any of my other matters that I've been bringing to the attention of the FCC, law enforcement agencies, judges, medical professionals, etc. I do need your assistance. My phone number is 216. You can either call me at 315-6452. They are hacking into my electronic devices and going into my emails, erasing them. And AOL has got some little game going on, messing with my things. And see, this is something that Donald Trump's money can't pay for, justifying. Neither can the body cameras that the Cleveland Police and these other law enforcement agencies have justify my being abused. I'm speaking to you very clearly and very plainly, as you see. And once again, my name is Reverend Pamela M. Pinckney Butts. My phone number, once again, is 216, in case I did not get it all out, 315-6452 or 216-548-0820. The latter number is the one that you can call to assist me with my presidential campaign. And for UK D. Hogan, who sent that email to me, calling yourself, mocking me, saying ha ha at the end of it. The Word of God speaks of one who says ha, ha to his people. Well, I'm one of his people. Don't ever call yourself making a mockery or joke of me again. In terms of my mail, the U.S. Postal Service, including Della Cleveland, who's supposed to have been following up with my mail, can make sure that the proper correspondence receives me, since she doesn't take time to get back to me herself. Marsha L. Fudge, the Congresswoman for the U.S. representation, my Congresswoman who I voted for, who I have not heard back from in reference to my federal violations taking place against me. I'm still waiting to hear back from you. I'm also waiting to hear from my state representatives with my name spelled right and pronounced right. This includes you, Representative Bill Patman, and you, Senator Sherrod Brown. I'm still waiting to hear and get assistance from you, Councilman Jeffrey Johnson, since you say this isn't really happening to me and it doesn't exist. As you see, the lights just went out. This is Reverend Pamela M. Pinckney Butts. Being abused, neglected, and endangered. And I do want to take the time to thank Mayor Frank G. Jackson for what you have made an effort to do and taking the time to even take time out to even speak to me. I don't take it lightly. I've been dealing with this situation for many, many years. And it doesn't just go away. I am in the United States of America, where I am a born and born again citizen. And I believe God. And I believe God is going to send me people from the north, the south, the east, and the west to assist me. I am being denied legal counsel, and I am also being blocked from representing myself legally for reporting abuse. By the way, when they beat me up and threw me in the county jail, October 7, 2008, under the directions and supervision of Judge Eileen Gallagher, whose courtroom I left when they did it, they labeled my race as unknown. And they've altered my birthday. My children are being abused also through this process. And every effort I make to fight for us, I get denied. I'm not going to smile because there's nothing funny about this. I'm not going to laugh because this is not a joke. This is real. And this is taking place today, right in your faces. May the 18th, 2016, in Cleveland, Ohio, in the United States of America, where racism is still the order of the day. So is the violation of my rights to be a female and a multiracial person, a female of color, a woman, a mother, a heterosexual Christian preacher. There's nothing funny about this. KD Hogan, ha ha. Now, is it funny, comical, or a joke that when a leader such as Mayor Frank G. Jackson does step up to the plate on my behalf, gets persecuted for doing so? For those of you who don't really believe this is real, I really am being persecuted for being a Christian, a preacher, a female, a mom, a person, a woman of color with multiple races intertwined within my life and my genealogy as a presidential candidate for the United States of America. It's got to be a joke. They're united in this cause, though. For you, Apostle and Prophet Joseph L. Prude, I do remember you telling me that some of this attack is coming from Michigan. But you haven't elaborated on it, and you won't take my calls when I do call you, and you won't speak to me when I try to speak to you about it. I'm also being persecuted for being heterosexual and single, because I make the choice of who I desire to be with, not a dowry.